Good morning. What's up, everybody? Hot Pudge IG Live. My name is Pudge Fernandez. I'm your host. Another episodes. Feeling good, doing good. Getting ready for our first guest up the bat. Let's see if he's ready to go. Yes, he is, ladies and gentlemen. This is how I do. I get everybody limit, and I hate losing time when they're having a great time with the guest. And Instagram's all bitchy about it. So let's get going. Good friend of mine. From day one, literally day one of my comedy career, the man who brought me in, he took me by the hand and said, "This is comedy. This is where you belong," and took me to my first open mic. And just love him to death. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Shout out to Mr. Cooper Rego.
Yay!
How are you?
Yeah, I gotta make my entrance.
Oh, you're such a homo.
Like you make your entrance, you know what
Ah,
I'm saying? I gotta get a shot of the chair first with my music playing before I join the set. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got a microphone. Look at you, Mira with the microphone.
Yeah, you know. This is a hot Pudge. I gotta get the mic ready for you. You know what I'm saying?
Hot Pudge IG Live with Cooper Rego.
What's up?
Voted sexiest abs in comedy in New York City. You have the best abs in comedy in New York City, hands down, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I haven't seen many people's abs, but I'm just gonna think off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't think anyone's got better abs than myself. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'll take that.
So I don't get it. What is it with human beings? Like you're an athlete. You started in football, and you still have that football running back body. And you kept it, you maintained it. I was a soldier. I didn't keep my soldier body. It just went, like, what happened? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong?
I guess you stopped soldiering. I guess that's what it was.
But I thought I'd keep the body out in the uniform and everything.
You still gotta run 80 miles in your boots. You still gotta carry your machinery. You need your gun. You need your backpack. You need all your gear, man. You know what I have? Speaking of military, let me show you what my new thing. Hold on a second.
Show me your new thing. Show me your new thing.
New thing, man.
Shout out to everybody who's joined us. I have Cooper Rego, stand-up comedian extraordinaire and former NCAA college running back.
You see this?
What's up?
It's
a canteen.
Canteen.
Is that a pistol belt?
This is a full-blown utility belt.
Let me see. Okay, so you got the pistol belt. How many canteens? Is it official?
Huh?
Is that for football training? Because you still train.
Yeah, this is training. Yeah, this is for my. It says running back training camp right on there, on the official utility belt. Every superhero has a utility belt.
And that's yours.
And this is mine. So
what's your super name? Like running back man or some shit? Because you used to be a running back.
Cooperman.
Cooperman.
Yeah.
And what is your special skill?
I have lots of skills. So
like,
you know how Batman has no skills, but he's got lots of gadgets.
Right.
I got lots of gadgets and skills.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
Let me just show you what I have in this utility belt. This is pretty funny. I actually have a real life.
Are you trying to impress me because I was a soldier?
I'm trying to impress you, yeah, because you were actually in the military. But look, in my utility belt, I have a actual batarang that a real.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
That is a real batarang right there.
I had bullets in my pistol belt, Cooper. I had real bullets. I had a bayonet, a compass. I never had a batarang. Yeah. They didn't issue those. Yeah. They didn't issue those in the Army. But okay.
I also have just in case I got some bat rope, just in case I gotta make a tripwire or something. I'm fully prepared. And the funniest thing, today I went to go train my client and I forgot my utility belt at home today. It was sitting right where I left it. So I have special skills. My superpowers are I'm super fast.
I believe that you're a running back.
Yeah, so I'm super fast.
Were you a running back, like from Pee Wee?
Yep. from the jump.
Day one. No other
Day
position.
one. No other positions. Can't play anything else.
I know you were like all state in New Jersey, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Was it like all state number one?
All American.
You were all American.
Yeah. See, can you see Shakespeare up there? Can you see Shakespeare? Shakespeare's up there. You see
Oh, I see. Yeah. I see Shakespeare.
he's wearing a hat.
Right.
That's the Heisman Trophy hat. That's from he's got the hat to the side. Yeah.
You didn't get the trophy, but you got the Heisman hat.
I didn't get the trophy, but I did get I was part of the high school.
You got the Heisman hat. Okay, that's a good runner. That's good. I mean, I don't have nothing Heisman. I can do the pose. That's about it.
Yeah, I was up there, man. I was up there.
So, what does All American like? I've always heard the term All American. Does that like All American in your state? Is there like one in every state, or is like a top 10 in the country? Like, how does that work when you're All American high school? Because I've always heard the term.
Yeah,
but like
no, I was Gatorade State Player of the Year for New Jersey.
Wow.
And also USA Today All American. So that's USA like Today. They take all the best players in the country and put them on a team. So I was one of the best guys in the country. I was actually second team USA Today All American.
So you were like All American for your position?
For my position, yes.
Sweet.
Yeah, so my superpowers are super fast. Still.
Well, you ended up you went to a prestigious university.
Yep. I went to
Notre Dame.
I went to Notre Dame. Yep. Started there.
The Gipper. That's where the Gipper's from.
The Gipper.
Right? Isn't that the Gipper story?
Win one for the Gipper. Yeah.
New Rockney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Win one for the Gipper.
That's right.
Ronald Reagan played the Gipper in the movie.
That's right.
Yeah, they didn't give you a copy as a freshman. Say, here, watch this.
No, but they did make us learn the fight song, the Notre Dame fight song. First day.
Right.
We had to learn that. Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. We had to stand up in the lunchroom.
And Rudy. Did you have to learn the Rudy history too? Did you get to meet Rudy?
I never met Rudy, but we would watch Rudy, and then we would look at and we would notice all like the landmarks around campus.
Okay.
Oh, there's the North Dining Hall. There's the South Dining Hall. There's the park, so we could recognize everything. So that was cool.
Sweet. How was it like wearing those colors? I mean, they're pretty. It's like a prestigious thing when Notre Dame.
Yeah. So the thing about Notre Dame is they wore gold helmets. And,
right.
That's the same thing. Almost the same uniform I wore in high school. So I had I wore gold helmets in high school. So it was very, very, very similar for my high school uniform to my college uniform. Except we wore green and gold in high school, and Notre Dame's blue and gold, and sometimes they wear green and gold as well. But then I went to West Virginia, who also claimed to be blue and gold, but it's really blue and yellow.
Yellow. It's like gold lights.
They call that yellow gold, but that ain't gold, man. That's yellow.
Another thing about Notre Dame, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not one of these slide-in schools for athletes. You got to be smart.
No,
you got to be book smart.
Yes.
So like there's a lot. We don't know. There's a lot of colleges. They just slide you right in. You get a 500 on your SATs. Come on in. You're on the team. But for Notre Dame, they have a strict guideline.
Yeah.
You are intelligent.
I was probably my SAT wasn't much higher than 500. It was actually
okay.
I got an 860. I think they wanted me to get a 900.
Right.
I got an 860 twice in a row, and they slid me in. So my powers, 40 points. My powers, man. My powers. I'm super fast, super smart, and I'm super funny. Those are my powers, man. Super fast, super smart, super funny.
Mm-hmm. And then you went to West Virginia.
I'm super thirsty right now too. Yep. Then I went to West Virginia. So
how was that? That's where you graduated from?
Yes. Went there, played there for 4 years. And after that, graduated from I started comedy my last year at West Virginia. That's when I began my stand-up career.
West Virginia.
I was winter break, like after the football season's over, before you go back for the second semester. It was during those 3 weeks that I was off from school. We we weren't that good that year, my senior year in college. So we didn't go to a bowl game that year. So I went home. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home and back to New York. I'm gonna do comedy. So I hung out at the comedy clubs every single night, right? And then eventually I found out like I had to do a bringer show, and then my first couple shows were at the Comedy Cellar. I did like 4 bringer shows at the Comedy Cellar during that break. I did 2 shows.
The Thursday night bringers. I remember.
It was Thursday and Friday back then. It was
okay.
Show. Yeah, this is 2000.
Wow.
This is like January 2nd, 2002.
Who was hosting those?
Modi hosted one.
Okay.
There was another guy. I can't remember his name.
Eric Rivera hosted when I was there.
Yeah, that was years later. That was many years.
Okay.
Later. That was around 2005.
Right.
2005,
yeah, that's when I started. That's when I started. Right.
That's when Eric Rivera was hosting those. But back in 2002, like there was a variety of different comics, different pros that would host those bringer shows.
So you said you didn't make it to any bowl game, a bowl the last year, but did you ever go to a bowl game?
Yeah, I went to 3.
Nice.
I went to one at Notre Dame. There was one at West Virginia that my first year, but I didn't play in that one because I was ineligible because I transferred from Division 1A to another Division 1A school, so I had to sit out
for the year.
So I sat out the first 2 years of college.
Wow.
I redshirted the first year at Notre Dame. Then for the second year, I had to sit out that second year.
Wow.
The first 2 years, I didn't touch it. I practiced every day and I trained every day, but I didn't touch the field until my third year. And I played the last year. When
you're a redshirt, they don't allow you on the field, so you're not even in uniform on the field.
Yeah, no, I was in uniform. Yeah.
Okay.
I was in uniform.
So you're still there in case of an emergency.
It'd be a big emergency for me to get in the game.
All right. Sweet.
I actually have a photo of me on the sideline at I think it was at the bowl game. We played LSU that year back in '97, and LSU's always been a powerhouse team. Here's a picture of me just standing on the sideline.
I see it.
Helmet, yeah.
Yeah, baby face.
Yeah, I mean the same face, man, same face, bro.
But it's smooth. You can see it's smooth. Like you haven't grown in the area. That's that baby skin.
Yo, I'm 41. I still can't grow a beard. After all this time, I still can't grow a full beard. My beard grows and stops like Joe Dirt. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah. Well, good. You don't have to waste money on razors and fucking wake up every day like everyone else. You're better off. Yeah, you want a beard.
It doesn't grow. And then I can't grow any chest hair either. I don't know why that's. I know my dad was like, you can't grow. Like everyone's confused why I'm the only one in the family.
You there? There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
There you go. You got me now?
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm on delay.
My phone paused for a second to notify me that my battery is getting low.
Oh, get the fuck out.
So I had to plug it in, but we're good now. We're good.
Oh, okay, so you're good? You're not going to cut off on me?
You're not gonna cut off unless somebody calls me.
I'm about to say, unprepared motherfucker.
I'm prepared, man. I got my utility belt. I just forgot to put my. I can't go on airplane mode and go live, can I?
I don't know. Airplane mode means I think you're dead or some shit. Yeah, don't do airplane mode.
Yes, let's just hope nobody calls me.
So which one was a bigger party school, Notre Dame or West Virginia?
Absolutely, West Virginia was
really?
Yes. Party was crazy. It was the complete opposite of Notre Dame, to be honest with you. Like at Notre Dame, on Saturday night, you could walk through the dorms and there'd be a significant number of people that were studying. Like the majority of people are studying, and there's a few people that would go out, right? West Virginia was the complete opposite. Everybody's partying, and there's a small percentage of people that were studying.
Wow. So you enjoyed your stay in West Virginia?
It was no doubt it was fun. It was both college is just in general, at both places were a lot of fun, man. There's the only time in your life where you're away from home, you're around other kids in your same age, and you get to go to school together. In my case, you play football together, and you do everything together with your teammates and your friends, and they become like your family members. Some of my friends now my friends that I've been friends with for 25 years now since Notre Dame, they're almost like my cousins now. You have a deeper experience than like your real family members.
It's funny because, same thing, except we lived in barracks and we didn't play football. They just gave us guns and ammo, and pretty much the same experience. It was alcohol, a lot of chasing pussy, partying, some drugs, and a lot of training.
Yeah, but I played against Navy. I played against Army. Oh, wait, Notre Dame, we did play against Army. No, I think we played against Navy. Yeah, I played against Navy at both schools, actually. And Navy actually beat us when I was at West Virginia.
Wow.
But I scored my first touchdown in college on my birthday. It was against Navy.
Oh, now what's that feeling like? Was that a home game or away game?
That was a home game, and remember, that was my third year playing football.
Right.
So it wasn't until 3 years in that I actually got on the field. I actually got to score, and it just happened to be my birthday. I turned 21. Yeah, that was exactly 21 years ago.
So on your 21st birthday, you scored a touchdown for West Virginia.
Yep, against Navy.
On my 21st birthday, I went across the street from the barracks to the PX, bought myself a 40-ounce. And the cashier checked.
What kind of 40?
Colt 45.
Colt 45.
Colt 45.
Every time.
And the girl, the cashier, asked me for my ID, and she was like, "Oh, happy birthday!" And I was like, "Thanks." Went back to the barracks and just sipping it by myself. It was not exactly, it was the middle of the week. We had to get up the next day. It was no partying for me, but yeah.
No, I'm sure Billy D. Williams was there in spirit. Like, go ahead, man, drink that Colt 45.
Yeah, me and Billy D got down a lot.
Enjoy that Colt 45.
Yeah, there was a lot of alcohol.
Did you keep your Colt 45 in your canteen?
No. I knew some guys. I think in the National Guard, we took some vodka up one time to the field. We took some alcohol. Yeah, once. On training. Yeah, it was a weekend thing. Yeah. I think we only one time I ever recall taking alcohol to the field that we were sipping it. But no, that's a huge no. We kind of, you know what I'm saying?
You guys got heavy, artillery and weaponry, and you can't be like drinking.
You can't run around with a squad automatic weapon and 200-round chain belt and sipping on goose. It's not permitted.
They had goose back then?
I think so. I don't know, some kind of fucking whatever. I'm sure they did. When did goose come out?
I don't know. I thought goose was a newer vodka, I don't know.
It came out in the 2000s.
Did it? Yeah, that's what I mean. So like a newer vodka compared to some of those older ones, Smirnoff, Vladimir.
Well, in the military, we drank it all. It didn't matter. We didn't give a shit.
Yeah, same thing. West Virginia, win or lose, we still booze.
The barracks was, it got a little Animal House sometimes. I remember, I thought I was a drinker before the Army, and then once I got there, it's just another level.
Yeah.
It's a fucking another. I remember we were celebrating somebody's birthday, and it was Friday night. I just remember blacking out.
And then waking up. Wait, remember? How do you remember blacking out?
I remember I blacked out, and the next day, the music was banging. The sun was out. I'm just kind of lingering in the hallways, all fucked up, and someone throws me a beer and says, "Here's your breakfast." And it was just like that. Holy. Yeah, it was nuts. I was like, whoa.
Let me ask you something. Did your alcoholism carry over post your military career?
I think it made it stronger. I wouldn't say I was a full-blown alcoholic, but it gave me confidence because I did it so well. It definitely, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, because you start drinking when you're 18, 19, and the tolerance builds. I mean, there was the 18 to 20 year 18, 19, 20. Then I'm in the military, it goes up a notch because I get introduced to the hard shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking started doing gin and juice, and, yeah, vodka and anything else, tequila, anything we can get our hands on and could chip in and buy a bottle of. And then, I brought it home. So, but I wasn't drinking a lot. It's just when I did, I had a high tolerance, and I was a good drinker. I didn't get shit-faced easily. I didn't get, you know what I'm saying? So it made me feel more confident, which became a trap, in the long term.
The liquid courage.
Over time, yeah. I mean, I thought I had it figured out. I knew how much to drink, so I can drive, but not, you know what I'm saying? I thought I had it all figured out. And because you get away with it 100 times, you're good. Like, yeah, I'm only have 3 drinks, then I'll get to Queens, and then I can drink more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew my limits. And if I wasn't driving, then I really went overboard. Because I was always careful. I thought I was smart because I always drove.
Mm-hmm.
But if I wasn't driving, forget about it.
Free for all. Got you.
Free for all. I got blacked out, kidnapped, and raped in
Texas
on one of those nights.
Yeah, it was quite raped. So you're hashtag me too, for real.
Yeah, I'm me too. Wait, I wouldn't say rape. She gave me a ride to the bus station the next day. So.
Oh, that's nice.
She was nice.
Nice of her.
But it was one of those. Yeah, I wasn't driving, and I said, if I'm just chilling, I just went off. And soldiers being soldiers, the club was closing. We're in the parking lot. Everybody's malingering, and I'm just and there was a bunch of girls and another car, and my friends just took me and kind of gave me away to them, and they threw me in the back seat.
Was there a trade involved? Was there an even trade?
I don't remember. I don't know.
You got volunteers.
Yeah, they just kind of say, here, you can have them. And they threw me in the back seat. And there was like 3, 4, 5 girls, and I'm in the back seat. The music's banging.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Horrible.
But yeah, it's not fun if I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then next thing I know, I'm in somebody's house in somebody's bed.
Yeah, that's how it goes when you're that age and you're drinking that heavy. That's how it goes, man.
And no, it gets better. Then the next day, I wake up, and there's somebody sleeping next to me, and I turn. I remember to my right, and there's a child in the crib sucking on a pacifier looking at me. And I was like, holy shit.
You're like,
and I was like,
is that mine? Is he belong to me?
Swear to God, this little kid sucking on a pacifier, holding on to the crib. I was like, fuck. And then the girl woke up. And then she introduced me to her mother.
Wow.
Dude. Yeah, it was crazy. And then they offered me a ride to the bus station. And I jumped on a bus back to Fort Hood. It was like an hour drive.
Wow.
This was in Austin.
Did that change your drinking style? Or did you carry on with the same old stuff?
No, I rarely did that because I always drove. That was only got shit-faced because this one night, this guy had room in his car, and I was like, fuck it, I don't feel like driving.
You had the night off from driving, got you.
Yeah, I had the night off, and I went overboard. So, yeah, I was kidnapped. I was me too.
And no ransom, no bargaining, no trade.
So yeah, it was.
I don't know if you were just kind of borrowed for an evening.
Yeah, I guess they threw him. Yeah, it wasn't. It's a story now. It was nothing too exciting. Just very awkward morning with the child, and then the grandmother of the child, and then me and the mother.
I wonder how old that child is now.
Wow, that's a good one. 20. It's 20. 25, 26, 27.
You probably come across that child probably a few times and don't even realize it.
Somewhere in Austin,
Realize it at the time.
Texas. Somewhere in Austin, Texas, there's a grown woman saying, "My mother was a sucia." I remember.
She could be in New York by now. You could have passed her. You could. That's funny.
Yeah, there were quite a few adventures in Texas. I was a bad boy. I can't get into too much detail. I don't know who's watching this.
Looks like all 2 people.
Well, this goes on my YouTube channel, so
Yeah.
it'll go further eventually. I was in my 20s. What can I do?
It's a fun time, man. That's the time to have fun.
Yeah, no kidding. It was pretty good. A lot of soldiers. It's a whole other level. There were swapping. There were threesomes. There's a lot of stories. It was pretty crazy. It was some stories I can't share on Instagram Live, but yeah, we're a close-knit group.
Yeah, sounds like a football team.
Yeah.
Well, football is very similar to military. You know, it's there's a lot of we adopt a lot of the same strategies, you know, from warfare into, you know, onto the gridiron, you know.
Sure. The discipline, the enemy.
Yeah.
You know.
Discipline is one. You know, just the way they run practice in football is a lot of it was taken from the military.
Well, yeah, we train for combat. We train as close to combat as possible, and it's a lot of repetition.
Right.
So when shit goes down, it's muscle memory.
Right. I bet you right now, whatever gun your bayonet, whatever gun you had, I bet you could do whatever you did all those years right now without a problem, without missing a beat. Right.
I could take it apart, put it together. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, eyes closed.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I could still run the same plays. I know the exact same steps for every play. You know, isn't that funny how like you do this repetitious type of exercise for a short period of time? You know, how long were you in the military for?
8 years total.
8 years. Oh shit. Okay, that's
four active full time, and then came home and did 4 National Guard part time, but 8 altogether.
Yeah. So college is 5 years, and in 5 years, I still remember. You know, 5 years from 18 to 23. I still can remember every play and can do every step. I bet you all my teammates, if we got together, we could run exact same plays that we were supposed to just from repetition. Isn't that amazing how this stays with you all those years?
So let me ask you, because it gets, for you, it sounds cool. For us, I feel like it's scary because how much of it is still in you?
It's
like, it sounds.
I'm still the same size I was in college.
Right.
You know, so I'm not as fast because I don't lift as much anymore. But I'm still the same weight, and I can still move the same way.
Right.
And my company.
So physically, you're there. Well, sir, I'm not there physically, but mentally and psychologically, it's still in there. It's ingrained.
Yeah.
And for you, it's cool because you can pick up, like you said, you can get with your boys and pick up a game and run the plays.
Right.
But for us, our plays was maim and kill and destroy.
Well,
so
that would come in handy nowadays, especially with this craziness going on right now. That might possibly that could come in handy.
But it's a little, it's awkward. I've spoken to my therapist about it. Like, it's still in there, and because I did serve but never saw combat, it irks me a little bit. Like, it's still in my system, and I didn't do anything with it.
You know, that reminds me of. Well, thank God that you didn't go to combat, because imagine how messed up you'd be.
Yeah, I know.
Now, I know. I'm glad my football career ended when it did, because if I would have played longer, I would have had more concussions. I probably would have broken some stuff and tore some stuff.
But you did. But here's the thing: you did play. But just remember those 2 years where you had the red shirt. You weren't right. Imagine if that would have continued. Right. You never touched the field, and then you got out.
Right.
You still have that irk.
I'd still have want to play, but like if I would have had a 10-year career in the NFL, like I guarantee I'd be mangled. There'd be stuff that's not working properly by now.
Yeah.
You know, And if you would have actually saw combat, you would have been
Yeah.
stuck and ingrained with images and stuff
Yeah.
that you have done or seen that would
Yeah.
still be with you. That would
I mean,
probably cause you to still drink like you did back then.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. It's just this like haunting feeling, and it's funny because you play football, and I use the terminology with my therapist, and it's like it's like you train, and then you're off the team, and your team is in the Super Bowl, and I'm watching on TV.
Yeah,
and that's what it's felt like for like 10 years. Because from 9/11 to the next 10 years, I'm watching, and I know the plays.
right.
Like you watch the game, I know the plays, and I'm calling it.
Right.
I'm Monday, like was a Monday morning quarterback, but watching the military.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you? I'm like, what are you doing? Do this, do that. Do all this military, and I'm just watching, and it's a kind of.
It's a weird space to be in. It's a weird space, especially putting all that time in, and then not having it see any action.
And then I got out.
Then having to watch. Did you feel depressed at all?
When?
Like post when you came home, like when you were done. Did you feel depressed at all?
No. I did 4 years. No, because the transition was because I transitioned from full time to part time, the National Guard. So it was like a little, I was still in the military. It was just 1 week in a month, 2 weeks in the summer.
Mm.
So there wasn't no depression because I was still in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still hanging. I was still wearing the uniform. I was still training. I think the depression or not the anxiety, but the anger happened because I got out in the spring of 2001. So it was fresh. I just got out in April and May of 2001. A few months later, September 11th.
Right.
So technically, I could still fit in my uniform.
Right. When you talk about that, that was 2001. That reminds me. July 2001 was the first time I went to a comedy club, and I went to the Cellar. I was walking around the village with my girlfriend and her sister and my other friend. We were just wandering around, had nothing to do, and we stumbled upon the Comedy Cellar. And as we were walking down the steps, I remember telling them, I was like, "Hey, you know what? I want to do this one day." Right. And then like you get inside the Cellar, and then like in that little hallway before you get to the showroom, you could hear the comedian over the loudspeaker. And then I remember just that feeling of walking into the club to like hear someone on stage and then hear like the laughter come. And then I got around the corner and I see the brick wall, and then like the Cellar's like this, like you're sitting on top of people.
Yeah,
it's so New York. It's typical New York.
Right.
It's like being on the subway.
That was your first comedy club?
First comedy club ever went to. It was July 2001. Godfrey was the host.
Damn.
He was hosting. I remember he was hosting because he made fun of me as I was leaving. And then Greer Barnes was on that show. So I remember them two from that show. That's the only two people I remember from that show. But I remember Godfrey making fun of me afterwards. And that was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
19 years ago. So then like the next year, exactly a year later, that following January 2002 was my first time on stage at that club, at the Comedy Cellar.
Wow.
So now at 41, almost 20 years later from starting comedy, like I want to get past at the Cellar, like, when they open up again.
That's funny. You had a pot. I had something somewhat similar. My first comedy show, I was back from the Army. I was in the Guard. It was on a double date. And I don't know, I got these tickets for the New York Comedy Club, like a free pass. I don't know where I got it from. So I went on a double date with my best friend and his girlfriend and my wife. And so we're in the comedy. It was like a Saturday night. So it was packed. It was crowded. They seat us in the front. And I don't remember. I started in 2005. So I think it had to be, I got home in 97. My son was born in 90. So I was about 97, 98. Because I got home in 97. He was born in 98. So yeah, 98, 99. Because the girl that my friend met was through my wife, and then he got her pregnant within a year. So yeah, it was about 98, 99. Yes. And so we're sitting there. First comedian comes on. Oh, first of all, when we walk into the club, this gentleman sat us. I remember it was an Asian guy. It was a young Asian kid seating us. And then the show starts, and he's the first one on stage.
Nah.
And he was horrible. And I remember I'm like, this is it? I can do this. I was like, so you were like all positive and soaking it up. I was more like, I can do better than that. So I had like this attitude, I can do better. And I'm like, he was awful. I can do better. And then he got off. And then the next comedian came on and he killed. Thank God. And then, we had a good time.
Was that what sparked your interest in doing comedy? Was seeing him and saying I could do better?
No. My interest, I was soaking up comedy since I was 3 or 4 years old. For a fact, I was soaking it, and I didn't know it. Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry. By the time I was in the first or second grade, Lucy was my babysitter. Okay, because I used to see her every afternoon, and in the summer I see her in the morning and the afternoon. I love Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Done. First, second grade, I was watching Benny Hill.
Mm-hmm.
First, second, third grade, all the kids. Maybe I'm older than you, but back in the day, especially the boys, all the kids were into kung fu.
Right.
Every Sunday was kung fu movies on Channel 5.
Right. Yep.
All the kids watched, and then the next day, Monday, they were kung fuing each other in the yard.
Right.
I was the only one. I was the only one that was not kung fu fighting, because I wasn't watching kung fu. I was watching Abbott and Costello.
Mm-hmm.
So, first grade, second grade, I was watching Abbott and Costello every Sunday. So it was Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, Abbott and Costello, Benny Hill, and then it came All in the Family. Then came the Jeffersons and Carol Burnett, and Lucy was my babysitter. Then one day, I'll never forget, I'm in my aunt's house. We used to go over there for the weekend and just hang out. And my cousin on my stepfather's side of the family, he brings me to the stereo. Remember stereo systems in the house? The room? Mm-hmm. And he puts the headphones. He goes, here, listen to this. And he puts these big headphones in my ear. And it's Eddie Murphy, Delirious, that he got from his older brother. And I'm just all over the floor with these headphones, literally just rolling, laughing, rolling, and just flipping and laughing with these headphones. And I remember my mother looking at me like this embarrassed look, because she didn't understand what I was, because she didn't know I was listening. I had headphones, but I remember looking at me like I was crazy. And it was holy shit.
That's very funny. That's very funny because...
And all that was by the third grade. All that was third grade.
Our generation is the last generation to growing up experiencing comedy like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, my inkling for doing comedy came from, again, listening to comedy on headphones. Now, it was a few years later. It was early 2001. I'm coming back from a track meet in college, right? And everyone on the bus is like sleeping. And they gave me a Dave Chappelle CD, right? Killing Me Softly is on CD, right? Somebody burned it like on Napster.
Yeah.
I'm listening to the CD and I'm dying on this bus, right? My stomach is hurting so bad while I'm laughing so hard, right? Because I remember Dave Chappelle from Def Comedy Jam, right? So I remember him from Def Comedy Jam, and then like Half Baked. And so I remember him from the 90s. Now it's 2000. I'm listening to this thing. And like to hear his like progression was like, I was like, oh yeah, this is good. Like this is before Dave Chappelle was super famous, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, this is really funny. And there was one joke in there, in that special, that I felt like I could get a bigger laugh on. There was one joke when he was talking about Snuffleupagus. I just had this feeling deep inside. I was like, I feel like I could get a better laugh than that. That's just what I felt, right? And then
it's weird. It's something inside of us.
It was something inside that I was just like, yo, for years I've been making like home videos with my brothers and sisters, right? Like I
remember you showed,
and we would just start making movies, right? And I try to be serious. I wanted to be like a serious actor. And every time I try to be serious, it would turn funny every single time. So I was
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, so I can't be serious. So I'll do comedy. And that little bit, I was like, yo, I know I could get a bigger laugh than that because I've been doing like funny things up until then. So then when we wandered around the village that day and we saw the comedy club, I was like, hey, I want to try this. And then later on that football season, my football career went south. And then I was like, the only thing that made me feel better was watching those Def Comedy Jam tapes.
Dave Chappelle was my second comedy show. Carolines. Oh, like my first comedy show was New York Comedy Club.
Yep.
And my second one was at Caroline's.
Mm-hmm.
I saw he was playing there, and I remember him. I think he just did The Nutty Professor. Right? I remember him from Men in Tights. And then he did the Nutty Professor. I saw he's in Caroline's, so I took wifey out, and that's the first time I ever got a huge bill in a comedy club because I was like, holy shit, comedy's expensive. But we had this was like, I don't know when Nutty came out, but it was $100 bill and it was just the two of us. I was like, fuck, but he was great.
Was he?
And again, whoever the opening comedian was, I thought sucked.
Right.
So comedy, and it was always in there. I actually thought about stand-up because as I got older, I found Eddie, and then I found remember Columbia Records? You get 12 cassettes for a penny, and if you got to join the Columbia Record Club.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
So I ordered Bill Cosby and Steve Martin. So I got those tapes I was listening to, and then stand-up got on TV. Now there's stand-up comedy on like a Friday, Saturday night on Channel 5, and I'm watching that. And I was already bit. And like, so yeah, there was Eddie, and then Paul Rodriguez was my first Latino, which I connected with. I was like, oh shit, someone that looks and sounds like my family could be. So that was a huge influence. George Wallace planted a seed. A huge seed, because I thought comedy, up until then, comedy's just jokes to me. They were just funny anecdotes and jokes.
Right.
George Wallace showed me that it's 100% fucking real.
Right.
I was in the 6th grade, and I lived in Corona, Queens, near LaGuardia.
Is that where coronavirus comes from?
No, it was China. China.
It comes from
China.
It came from Corona, Queens.
So there was an airplane. I lived near LaGuardia. There was an airplane that skidded off the runway. It was all over the news. It skidded off the runway. It was in the water. 2 people died because they couldn't get unbuckled. They were at the tail of the plane. The tail got, so that was a real story. It was all over. I used to watch the news, and LaGuardia was right next to my house. So I knew about it. A couple of weeks later, I'm watching George Wallace, and he's got a joke about that plane crash. It's a famous bit. You can go to YouTube. It's Flight 5050. I mean, that right there. He goes, how are you going to board a plane when the odds are on the wing? Flight 5050. You get it? Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. That was in my backyard. That was real. People died. And he's got a fucking joke about it. It was like, that's when I knew. And I actually thought about, I found a flyer when I was like 17, 18. It said open mic. And I made the mistake. Unfortunately, 18, my testosterone, puberty, adolescence, I had pussy on the brain. So I held it. I looked at it. I wanted it. But I was too busy trying to get laid and hanging out. And I put it down, and that's it. Then by the time I was 20, I was in the Army, a husband, a father, and then that dream took a left turn. But it was in me. It was already, it was already instilled. I fucked up and didn't jump on it. So when I should imagine 18 if I would have started.
I mean, that's young. I started at 23. I think like Chappelle started at 14. So Eddie Murphy too. Eddie Murphy started like 15, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
14,
15. Yeah, like 16. His dad was taking him to shows.
Yeah,
and he was bombing.
yeah. But like, Yeah, that would have been when you started. You start that young. The younger you start, like Nico White was just on here. You remember him? He started at like, I think he still
15.
might be 18.
I keep calling. Yeah, he got mad because I keep calling him like because he's always going to be young to me. I remember he
know.
was 15.
Yeah, I think he's still 18, and that was 10
No,
years ago.
but he's actually like 26,
Something like that.
27, and shit.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
I remember when he was shorter.
He got some nerve getting older.
He used to be shorter than me. Now he's taller than me, and he's got better jokes.
So yeah, if you would have started at 18,
I probably wouldn't have joined the army.
You know what? You know what? Here's the thing: is that right now, during this period, everyone's on the same playing field right now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter when you would have started because now, right now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm starting over.
Yeah, everyone is.
I'm starting right over. So like this weekend at Tino's house, at his open mic at his house.
Yeah.
Like that's me starting over.
Yeah.
You know, getting up on stage again. You know, all my materials new. Everything that I had wrote previously.
Starting from scratch.
Are you doing construction in the back?
No. Why?
No, I just hear like some tapping.
Oh shit, that's me.
Starting from scratch. Because all my old material that I've been doing for years is like the Old Testament now.
Yeah.
You know, that's a whole another. That's a pre-COVID stuff. So now I got to start from COVID on.
It's funny. I'm in the Mohegan Sun. Before COVID, I signed up for their Mohegan Sun Last Comic Standing contest competition, and I just did the first round. I made it to the second round, but going into it, it's like I had the material, but I didn't feel like doing it because it's so fucking old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just feels weird. It's like, I know I got it. I know I can get laughs. I know, you know what I'm saying? I was worried about the timing because I haven't performed in months. So I was worried about the timing and the delivery. But I felt like I'm going to do this again. So I intentionally opened up with something new just to kind of kickstart myself. Like an opening line, just something off the cuff.
Get yourself excited about, you know.
Excited and nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Excited and nervous. So since, I mean, there's not that much new shit I have to go forward with the contest. So I'm still going to use the old material, but every time I do it, I'm going to have something new to start. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the last fresh batch, whatever I was cooking on right before COVID, that's fresh, that's newish, I'm going to open with that. Mm-hmm. Just to, and then I can segue to the old shit, because then I'll feel better about myself. Because I want to. It doesn't feel right. It's like, you know, it's like, I don't know, having the same sexual position and only position forever. It's like
forever. Yeah. Well, you know, the brain adapts to those things, and the brain gets bored of those things. You know, they've done tests on rats, and even rats behave the same way. When you give the rats the same thing over and over, eventually they get used to it, and then it doesn't excite them anymore. You know?
Yeah, the COVID stopped me, and of course I had my own personal issues, but I never got to take my material full. I think I got bored because I never got past featuring with it. Mm-hmm. You know, if like I'm like it's ready to go to 45 to 60. You know what I'm saying? I never got if I get a 45 or 60, I'll probably feel better about doing it. But doing it in the 5, doing it in a 10, doing it in a 15, doing it in a 20, already done that. You know, do it in a 30. So it's ready and waiting for whenever I hit 45 and 60s. Then maybe I'll get excited. Then I'm like, okay, I'm doing the old shit, but now it's power packed. Now there's a beginning, a middle. And you know what I'm saying? Now there's more excitement. So yeah, we get bored and I just got to crank out more shit. Got to keep it fresh in the bedroom and on stage.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So
what Tino's doing right now with having a mic in his basement is like phenomenal, because there's nowhere else you can get on. There's nowhere else I can get on stage. There's nowhere else I can practice. You know, for that period of time. I did 45 minutes the other day, and you know, there's nowhere else I can get 45 minutes of practice time in front of real people. In front of people that, you know, my friends that I've known 10 plus years, all of them, and can give me some feedback and, you know, can be there to let me know so I can gauge where I am.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm excited.
right now him having that mic is valuable. Doing this kind of stuff is super valuable.
This keeps me sharp.
Right.
Sharp
exactly.
and just motivated. And yeah.
At the end of the day, we're artists. And artists have to find different ways to express ourselves, right?
I said this a couple of episodes ago, and I was so, when this COVID thing happened, I started doing this. I found out, I'm like, holy shit, I am an artist for real. Like, I knew we were artists before because we were stand-up comics, but because of this Corona, I felt it tenfold, because even though we don't have the stage, there's this fucking energy to create. And it just, and it's like, I have to do something. It's like, I am an artist. I have to create. I have to paint. I have to do something.
That gave me goosebumps when you just said that, because that reminds me of Jerry Seinfeld's Comedian. In the first act, like the first 5 minutes of that documentary, they interviewed the former owner of the cellar, and he said that there's a certain compulsion amongst stand-up comedians to get on stage. Like, it's a real need to get on stage. So what you're talking about is that same need to express yourself, and that's where the artist comes from.
It's like my brain is on stop. It's on pause, and I need something to pump start it. This is this is a pacifier. This is almost it's not a bottle of milk for a baby, but it's my pacifier, and it's just keeping me. I'm not sucking anything, but I'm still having a sucking motion in my mouth to pacify me. There's no milk.
Hey, what happened to 6 feet 6 questions?
I'm gonna do phase 4. I gotta make another round. You're in? You want in?
I'm down for that. Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah. I did a slew in the beginning, so now I'm hoping to end it, because I thought maybe we'd be on the other side of it. It was only supposed to be for like the summer, so I'm gonna do like another dozen, and then wrap it up. I'm hoping to wrap this up and roll it into. I already have my ideas. I have 3 show ideas. One is a podcast, and one is and 2 mini shows that I guess will be it'll be a show or whatever. Yeah, this is all evolving into something else. So
yeah, I was going live for a while too on my running back page, and then once the racism started, it totally distracted me from going live anymore. So like, what the racism, when they killed George Floyd, that's when the racism started.
Dog, I was telling you, you were asking me about 6 feet 6 questions. I was on a roll. It was because of George Floyd that there was a gap. That's when my gap happened. Yeah. I swear to God, that when George Floyd hit, I was full speed ahead, until George Floyd, and then there was a weird gap. And luckily, my IG and I had another Facebook thing that fell off, but that's okay. I was just a learning curve. This I had already pre-booked, so because it was already pre-booked, it stayed.
You had to stick
with it. But that other stuff fell off. My other stuff fell off, and see, that's one of the that's what stopped 6 feet, because it was like those 3-4 days. It was just it's
exactly because I was going strong with my IG live, and then once that started, I could not focus on football. I couldn't get myself. I was distracted by the freaking racism.
I wasn't motivated. I was disgusted. I was depressed. I was disgusted, depressed, and it was just. And then you're watching everything that was going around the city.
That's right.
I was just not in the mood. It's like a buzzkill.
Exactly.
It's like a buzzkill. Like you just lost my erection. It just killed my. It was like that. It was hard. It wasn't cool, and it was one of the biggest. There was the downer. It just yeah, totally get it.
This has been some year, man. 2020 has been something. This has been something that we'd never, ever thought we'd ever experience. And if we survive, we're going to be in a whole new dimension of how human beings live, especially in this country and around the world, man.
We got 5 months left. What, August, September, October, November? We got 4.5, 5 months. I don't know what's going to happen, but just hold on. Just be ready.
Well, if I'm going to predict something, we'll probably have another hurricane coming because this is like hurricane season. If we didn't get hit pretty hard the last time, then possibly an earthquake, maybe, right? Around October, maybe an earthquake. And then hopefully by the end of the year, we might round it off with some alien visitation.
Let's close it out. Let's close out strong with aliens. E.T.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Exactly.
Let's get some gremlins. Let's close strong. E.T. attacks us.
Gremlins. You know, they should remake Gremlins. They remade Ghostbusters. They redid Transformers a bunch of times.
And the technology would be 10 times better. But then, I don't know. I kind of like the original. I'm tired of these remakes. They're lazy. Hollywood's lazy. We need an idea. Let's remake this movie. I just saw they're remaking. I just fucking saw it. What are they remaking? It's like, I forgot what the movie is, but they're just replacing the 2 white actors with 2 black actors now. It's like, they just flip-flop. Oh, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, yeah?
With Kevin Hart and Chappelle, I think? Or I don't know.
Really?
Oh, Kevin Hart and somebody, yes.
Okay, so the original Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I went to school with a kid. His dad played the guy that punched John Candy in the face. No, Steve Martin in the face at the airport. And I was like, psh, and then John Candy's like, you almost got your head run over like a melon. The dude that punched that guy was my friend's dad.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He got a credit. He got a credit.
I have a credit by like 1 degree of separation.
You don't have any other credits, any movies or TV?
I have a couple credits. I have a couple. I did something that was SAG. I can't remember. Many years ago. I was in that movie. I was in that movie with Sandra Bullock. I was an extra. She's like a superhero. She didn't have a utility belt though.
I have something.
You're not a real hero without a utility belt.
I'm not SAG. I have something on IMBD. I have something somewhere. I have one or two.
I'm on.
But nothing made. Not yet. We'll see this year.
Now is the time to create your own thing, man.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we're doing. And we got to bounce because I got the 20-second clock running. So, Cooper Rego, thank you for coming on. Hot Pudge IG Live. You will definitely. I'm going to get you for 6 feet, 6 questions. I'll see you at Tino's, and you'll definitely be back for the podcast.
Word.
All right, keep working that 6-pack.
That's right, man.